In a small village between rolling hills and a quiet river, there lived a poor widow named Margaret. Even though she was very poor, Margaret had strong faith in God. She prayed every day, trusting that God would provide for her needs. Margaret's neighbor Robert, an atheist, did not believe in God. He often laughed at her faith. One evening, while Robert was standing by his window, he heard Margaret praying aloud for food and other things she needed. Robert had an idea. He wanted to make fun of Margaret's faith. He bought a lot of food, clothes, and other household items and told his driver James to deliver them to Margaret's house. "After you give her everything," Robert said, "tell her that it was not God who provided these things but the devil's son." James did what he was told. He knocked on Margaret's door with so many bags of food and household items. When Margaret opened the door, she was very surprised and happy. She started dancing and thanking God for answering her prayers. After a few moments, James cleared his throat and said, "Aren't you going to ask who gave you all these things?" Margaret stopped dancing and looked at James with a smile. She replied, "I have been praying to God for these things. When I saw them, I knew I didn't need to ask who gave them to me. Because when God commands, even the devil obeys." James was surprised by her response. He stood quietly for a moment, then nodded and left to tell Robert what she had said. When James told Robert what Margaret had said, Robert was deeply moved. Her faith and her words made him think about his own beliefs and the emptiness he felt inside. Over the next few days, Robert couldn't stop thinking about Margaret's faith. The sincerity in her voice and the joy in her eyes stayed with him. He realized there was something special about her belief. Finally, Robert went to talk to Margaret. He admitted that he had tried to make fun of her and asked her to explain her faith to him. Margaret welcomed him warmly and shared her story and her love for Christ. Through their conversations, Robert's heart began to change. He saw the peace and joy Margaret had despite her poverty, and it touched him deeply. After many talks and much thinking, Robert decided to become a Christian. Robert's change was real and transformative. He became known for his generosity and kindness. The villagers were amazed at the change in him, and many were inspired by his story. Margaret and Robert became good friends, united by their shared faith. Robert often helped Margaret and others in need, living out the Christian principles he had once mocked. In the end, everyone saw that when God commands, even the devil obeys. Through this divine plan, a lost soul had found his way to salvation. Margaret's unwavering faith led to a remarkable outcome. God used her to reach an atheist and bring about his salvation. She was unaware of the conversation between the atheist and his driver, yet the Holy Spirit guided her to speak words that God used to save a soul. If you found this story inspiring, please like, share, subscribe, and leave a comment below. Thank you.